the C Morning Show. Today is the National Primates Day, and that's why we are going to zero in on the condition of primates in Indonesia, especially for their well-being. So that is why today we have our guest, right, Karina?
That is right.
Yes.
We do have our guest, and we are so excited. And for more in-depth answers, you know, I've
Yes.
always sort of wondered about primates. I've always heard of it, Marissa. I've never really known so much about it, so I'm really excited.
This is a great opportunity.
Exactly, a very great opportunity. So without further ado, for more in-depth answers about primates, we have Jakarta Animal Aid Network, or Jaan. There you go. Thank you, Marissa.
Of course.
Founder Femke dan Haas. Good morning.
Good morning,
Thank you so
Femke.
much for coming in and joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so before we go into talking about primates, we would like to also understand Jaan. I mean, I
Yes.
do know Jaan, but I guess for our audience members, what is Jaan?
And me too.
Yeah. Okay, well, JAN stands for Jakarta Animal Aid Network. We were founded in Jakarta 2008.
Yes.
The organization is dedicated to improving the welfare of animals in Indonesia
Yeah.
and combat wildlife crime. So we run national programs to help wildlife, rehabilitate, release, combat the trade. So we investigate, we work together with the authorities to really follow up on cases and help to save the animals. And in Jakarta, we have the domestic division.
Yes.
And the domestic division focuses on the welfare of dogs, cats, and horses.
Yes, and that's actually where I adopted my two beautiful babies.
Yeah.
And they're the
My
cutest. You
dogs.
showed a photo to me earlier.
I wish I could show the photos, but anyway, let's focus on the primates, right? So what is the current condition of the primates' welfare in Indonesia?
The condition right now is shocking. The trade is really out of control.
I don't understand. Trading primates for what?
Yeah, it's hard to understand because primates are so much like us.
Yes.
They are, you know, of all the animals around, they look most like us.
Yes.
We share the same DNA. So the fact that people are still trading them, exploiting them, using them for content, using them for entertainment, like topping monyet or dancing monkeys, is shocking. We've seen an increase in the trade of especially macaques. So there's the long-tailed macaques and there's the pig-tailed macaques.
Yeah.
And sadly, we see the trade increasing in this
What
species.
happened? What's causing that?
We find them on the markets openly for sale.
Right.
And there's still no intervention of the government because their status is low in Indonesia, so they're not on the protected list yet.
Right.
But actually, on international level, there's the IUCN. They are already listed as endangered because of the many threats that they are under. So they are traded as babies and they're taken from the forest, they're separated from their families, they're separated from their mothers who would fight and do anything for their babies. So they're always killed in this process. Then the babies are brought to the markets and people buy them. People buy them for different reasons.
Right.
Yeah, most people buy them because they look cute. They want to keep them as a pet.
Right.
In Bali, many people buy them on the market. So they are traded as far as from Sumatra all the way to the market in Bali, which is clearly illegal.
Yeah.
And there are people, mostly tourists, buy them out of pity, and then they call to the authorities or rescue organizations, and they say, hey, we rescued this baby monkey. But they didn't. Actually, they contributed to the trade.
Oh, no.
Correct.
And many people, like in Jakarta, they would buy them for different reasons. Pets mostly, sadly. So they would end up chained, they would end up in cages in isolation. Primates are very social and they need to be around their own species.
Right.
And they only thrive in the forest.
Yeah.
So it's really cruel and it's shocking what's happening, and we really hope to see primates, especially the long-tailed macaques and the pig-tailed macaques, being listed as protected species as well as Indonesia.
How do you guys track them being taken out from the forest and also being bought and sold online?
We started a canine unit, so we work together with the police, we work together with the port authorities, we work together with the Ministry of Forestry and Environment. with our canine unit, these are dogs that can detect animals being smuggled.
Right.
We search for wildlife that are being traded, and the dogs have found tens and tens of baby monkeys. But we also do a lot of online research. We have a special team doing this online research to trace traders, and we worked on some very shocking cases actually the last years, where people were not just using the monkeys for content, for likes and share on social media, and then just change, so buy a baby monkey, use it on social media, and after a few months the monkey gets bigger and it's difficult to handle. They get rid of it, and then they get a new monkey, because they're so easily purchased. You can buy them anywhere. That's the problem.
So what would be the solution to stop this then? Law enforcement? What do you think?
The main solution is law enforcement. We can't ignore no longer the fate of these monkeys. They need our help. The government needs to interfere. They have to stop the trade, especially in the markets. It's quite easy to start to confiscate them and to stop it, but the issue has been neglected, really.
So, like, for example, yes, law enforcement is definitely very important. Government intervention is also very important. And also the buyers.
Yep.
And the buyers,
And
yes.
I'm just trying to figure out the buyers or society, at least in Indonesia, for some. So far they buy because it's cute, right?
Yeah.
But what is actually the impact to our lives when we don't allow our primates to be in the forest, to be in their natural habitat? Does that influence our way of life? Does that influence our ecosystem? What is the impact? I think because not many people know the impact on us if we do this, if we separate primates from their natural habitat.
Yeah, primates are vital in the forest.
Yes.
They help to spread seeds, they keep the forest healthy. So when we are losing primates from the forest, we will lose tree species. Orangutans eat about 500 different species in the forest. So they help to distribute those seeds and keep the forest healthy. So it's very important to keep them where they belong, in the forest, where they thrive, where they stay with their families, and where they can have their vital role to keep our
Air
ecosystem
clean. Clean
and healthy, and our future, really.
Yes.
It's our future, so
And even then, I think, with just besides the buying and selling of these primates, them in their natural habitat of the forest, with forest damage nowadays because of the environmental changes to climate change, are also affecting their habitat. So maybe the government should implement rules not only on the buying and selling, but also to make sure they have a habitat they could actually live in.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's getting also harder and harder to find good release sites for rescued primates. The forests need to be protected. Many species, like in Indonesia, we have 35 primate species. Many of them are endemic. You can only find them in certain areas in Indonesia.
Right.
So if we don't work now to protect those forests, then there's no future for them, and there's no future for us.
They extinct, and then what? Nobody's taking care of our forest, and then what?
So we can't let them go extinct. We need to work hard to keep the forest healthy, protected, and save what's still there.
What are you fighting? I mean, especially in terms of primates protection right now. What are you currently fighting for at the moment?
We're now focusing on getting the long-tailed macaques and the pig-tailed macaques listed as protected.
Oh yeah,
to stop the trade. There's been a lot of abuse cases that went international with these baby monkeys. So luckily, with the police and the ministry, we're able to follow up and also catch the traders and the people that were involved in these criminal activities. And then, we do a lot of educational programs, but we also run rescue centers. So we take care of over 150 primates right now in different rescue centers, all rescued from being a pet, topeng monyet, also baby gibbons that have been traded, that were spotted, and then they are now in our center and we take care of them.
Where is your center?
We run different centers, so we have one in Bandung area. Okay. This is for topeng monyet only, so all the dancing monkeys, because dancing monkeys now are
banned.
Listed, it's banned. So people, if you see dancing monkeys, don't support, don't give money, but report to the authorities because they're banned. Our center there takes care of 106 ex-dancing monkeys right now. We're preparing the release of 40 individuals soon, so they will go back to the forest. But you always have a few individuals that will stay with us for life, because not everybody can go back to the wild, sadly. Yeah, and then we have a center in Sumatra.
Okay.
In Lampung area, where we take care of confiscated animals from the trade. So mostly gibbons, but we also had 2 baby orangutans that were traded and luckily rescued. We have also macaques there, and even some non-Indonesian species that were traded.
Such as?
Because that's a new trend, and it's very shocking that people are starting to buy foreign animals, because this is a new problem we're facing. It's already hard enough to save the species that are here. And now people are buying marmosets from Brazil.
How does that trade sort of work?
Right now they use the loopholes in the law, so the traders don't see them as, they're not listed as endangered or protected in Indonesia. So they work with the quarantine authorities to import these animals. This is a big problem. It's very concerning because these animals cannot be released in Indonesia. They need to be returned to Brazil. And people still buy them, and after a while they can't take care of them anymore because they're primates.
And different environmental sort of changes as well in different countries.
Yes, of course. I mean, different habitat. Don't know how they will survive, right? Because it's a different habitat as well.
And it will be a disaster for the Indonesian primates and the Indonesia flora and fauna. Non-Indonesian species would be released here. That's not legal. So they need to be returned. And people need to stop buying them and selling them and keeping them as pets.
Well, speaking of that, right, there's this phenomenon, which is actually a very sad phenomenon, where people just use them, as you mentioned earlier, as content. And even influencers, supposed influencers, are sort of encouraging just because they want to get more likes, good for their business and all that. How do you see this?
It's a trend that started around COVID, where we see more and more influencers, public figures that have a big impact on all their followers. They use baby primates for content, and they share the babies on their social media channels as funny, entertaining, and sadly, many people share it and many people like it. And this has a huge impact because all the people seeing this would also want to buy a baby monkey. So that's why the trade online has increased. And that's a big problem we're facing right now.
So you mentioned earlier that you have hundreds of animals actually under your care at the moment in Sumatra, in Bandung, even like jaan domestic, all the dogs and cats. That needs a lot of money to take care of them, right?
Absolutely.
So how can the public help? Maybe donate, either like donate money or donate food or
the public can help by, firstly, of course, never supporting keeping primates as pets, educate everybody around you, be nice to animals, be kind to animals. That's the main thing. And if people want to help the organization, of course, we're relying on donations. But people can, instead of just donating, they can also sponsor an animal in our care. So we can give updates about the progress until, for example, if they sponsor a rescued dancing monkey, then they can follow the whole path until the monkey is socialized with other primates, because the rehabilitation is a long process until the point where they can go free again. And it's the same with the domestic division. Like, people can sponsor an animal in care. We're 2 separated divisions, And we work, close together to save and protect animals.
That's
So-
great. Sponsor an animal.
Sponsor
Yeah.
an animal. Watch them
Or
grow up.
volunteer.
Yeah, volunteer.
Go.
You and I, we
Yeah,
should go.
We should go. Definitely. We'll talk more about volunteering.
Okay, nice. Yeah.
And one last one, it's National Primates Day. Is there something you'd like to share with the audience? Just a message on how to inspire and encourage them to continue to do good.
My hope is that people don't support any cruelty to animals.
Yes.
So not keeping primates as pets, report to the authorities, report to us about cruelty cases like that, but also take action yourself.
Yeah.
So if you see an animal in distress,
Yeah.
don't rely on others, but try to take action yourself. For Primate Day, I hope that people consume wisely. Everything that we do has an impact on the forest, on our environment. So consume wisely and be kind for animals.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, Femke and Haas, thank you so much for
Thank you.
coming in on
Thank
National
you.
Primates Day and sharing with us all of those insights. And folks, now we're due for another short break, but right after we will have more updates just for you. Stay with us on the C Morning Show on C Today.